Somewhere in New York, there's a wealth manager whose entire job is deciding how his ultra-wealthy clients spend their grocery money, and one of the biggest line item savings he's ever found for a client wasn't a stock tip or a tax loophole. It was canceling their Whole Foods account and getting them a Costco card instead. It's not a verified case study, it's a story that circulates in wealth management circles because it captures something true. The people paid to optimize money keep landing on the same boring answer as everyone else. And it's because of one bet Costco made decades ago that Sam's Club and BJ's never had the nerve to copy. It's a bet that means Costco makes almost nothing on the stuff in your cart on purpose, and every other retailer in America has looked at that number and refused to touch it. Here's what that flips on its head. Everyone assumes Whole Foods is where money goes to shop and Costco's where it goes to save. But the number behind that bet, the one Sam's Club and BJ's walked away from, says the opposite is closer to true. Costco makes almost nothing on the stuff in your cart. On purpose. Walk into a Whole Foods, and every part of the business is built to get you to spend more per item. Premium branding, curated aisles, higher margins baked into almost everything on the shelf. That's a normal retailer. It makes money the way you'd expect a store to make money, by selling things for more than they cost. Walk into a Costco, and something strange is happening. Merchandise margins sit around 2 to 3%. A typical retailer runs closer to 25 to 50%. Costco isn't losing money on what's in your cart, but it's making next to nothing on it either, at a scale where that math should be impossible to sustain. So how does a company survive on margins that thin, at that size for this long? Here's the part that guy in New York understood before his clients ever asked. Before you put a single item in your cart, you've already paid Costco $65 a year for standard membership, $130 for executive. That fee is where the real business lives. According to Costco's own financial filings, membership fees make up less than 2% of total revenue, but in recent fiscal years, they've generated somewhere around 70% of the company's operating profit. Read that again. 2% of the money, 70% of the profit. The groceries aren't the product. The groceries are the reason you keep renewing the card. This only works because of what happens after you pay. Once someone hands over $65 up front, they're locked into something economists have a name for: the sunk cost fallacy. You paid for access, so now you want to use it, and that single decision changes shopping behavior completely. People buy more, visit more often, and stop comparison shopping the way they would somewhere with no fee attached. The retention on this is almost unheard of in retail. Costco's renewal rate sits above 90% year after year. Once someone's in, they almost never leave. Not because Costco has the best price on every item, plenty of competitors beat them on individual products. It's because the fee already feels sunk, and canceling feels like losing money you already spent. Millions of members renewing a $65 to $130 fee at almost no extra cost to Costco to collect it is about as close to pure profit as a public company gets. But that retention alone doesn't explain why competitors haven't just copied the model. The reason for that runs deeper than loyalty. It's a bet baked into how Costco prices everything on the shelf. Here's the bet. Costco caps its own markup at roughly 14 to 15% on almost anything in the store, even when it could easily charge more and customers would still pay it. Most retailers, including Sam's Club and BJ's, mark up individual items well past that, sometimes 25 to 50% or more, because that markup is where their profit actually comes from. Costco doesn't have that option. It gave up that source of profit on purpose decades ago and built the entire business to survive without it. That's not a policy a competitor can just announce next quarter. Matching it means walking away from the profit margin your whole company is built around and running the business on membership fees alone until enough people trust the model to make it work. Sam's Club and BJ's have leaned on higher item markups for years. Neither has ever fully matched Costco's self-imposed cap, because doing it halfway doesn't work. Customers can tell the difference. And it's the discipline itself that earns the trust that makes the membership fee worth renewing. Which is also who this actually benefits most. A membership fee only pays off if you're spending enough to make it worth it, and that's exactly the profile of a lot of high-income households. More people, more volume, more recurring spend. The $65 fee is a rounding error against what they're already spending, and in exchange, they get near wholesale pricing that a policy like Whole Foods or Sam's Club's or BJ's was never built to offer. So the real story was never Costco is cheap versus Whole Foods is expensive. Costco isn't really a grocery store. It's a membership business that happens to sell groceries at cost, just profitable enough to keep you walking back in the door every year to renew. That's why the wealthy shop there too. Not because they can't afford Whole Foods, because somewhere, someone whose entire job is protecting their money already ran the numbers, and the math said the smartest place to spend wasn't the place that looked the most expensive. If this changed the way you see your next Costco run, you already know what to do. Drop a comment with the one number from this video that surprised you most. And if you think that's an unusual way to get rich, wait until you see what's sitting in a parking lot at almost every construction site in the country, quietly clearing $40,000 a month for owners nobody envies at a dinner party.